YouTube, what is going on? Back with my latest video, back another installment of Speculation Saturday. So today I'm going to talk about a topic I feel that needs to be addressed, and that is reselling and also the renaissance of WhatNot. So I'm going to talk about both, kind of talk about my feelings on reselling and also touch on WhatNot a little bit as well, because that seems to be where a lot of this reselling is going on. Not going to be, it's not a scripted video, so if I ramble a little bit, just trying to get my thoughts off. Don't mean this to be a lecture or anything, it's more of an opinion, and I want to hear your opinion as well. But it's kind of, this idea, talk about this comes from a lot of comments I get from you guys when I do videos, even if they're not related to reselling. It seems to be a topic you guys always want to bring up and talk about, and also I've seen it been talked about on other people's you know, Instagram posts, videos, or whatever it may be, and just a topic I feel like I do disagree with a lot of takes, and kind of want to give you guys my opinion and see where that lands with you guys moving forward and see if that changes your mind in any way. So without further ado, let's get right into it, get my thoughts.
Listen, been in the game for a minute, clocking in because it's time to get down to business. Stunting is a habit, on me I'm good at it. Asking around town, I'm known as the Popsavage.
But before we do that, guys, hit the like button down below. Let me know you guys are enjoying these videos, and as always, if you're new to this channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button down below as well so you're updated to my most recent content, and hit that bell notification so you're alerted as soon as I post a new video. So like I said, I just want to kind of talk about reselling today. I did a video 2 years ago, I think at this point, about reselling and how I think the etiquettes and ethics of reselling should take place. If you haven't seen that video, check that out. I definitely still feel like those principles I talked about in the video still hold true today and still should be implemented. But in general, like I said before, I did a video last week talking about like the downfall of Funko, if that is a thing. I did talk about how it was due to the potential supply chain issues with Funko. That's what they have said, and also potential mass production of Funko Pops. And even with that being the case, people still bring up that reselling is what's actually killing Funko, which, like I said, I just want to kind of talk about these topics, not in any kind of scripted format, but kind of give you guys my opinion. I just think that's a lazy take, to be honest with you. You can't have mass production being an issue, which is being confirmed with Funko, and also reselling happening at the same exact time. The two can't exist in the same bubble. I don't think reselling is killing Funko in any way. I've said this before, and I will say it numerous times, is reselling is good for any collectible hobby. You need to have resellers in order to have the hobby moving forward and for things to have value. If things don't have value, a hobby doesn't have longevity. There won't be people collecting things because there would be no value and no reason to collect these things moving forward. I mean, a lot of people compare Funko Pops to Beanie Babies, which is a terrible take, but the reason why Beanie Babies ended up being the way they were is because they started to mass produce them and they didn't have value. Once people were no longer able to resell them, they didn't have any intrinsic value, and they because nobody knew, there's nothing tied to Beanie Babies, there's no reason to collect them other than the value. And once that went away, it just kind of killed the hobby in general for Beanie Babies. Funko's a little bit different because they are attached to IP, you know, intellectual property, whether it be different characters we grew up with, nostalgia, or, you know, just characters we like, and, you know, the aesthetics of the figures. So I think then that way they're completely different, and ultimately comes down to collectability, comes down to the value. So if you don't have people selling things for more than the retail cost, the hobby will not continue. But what I see from a lot of comments is people want to be able to pick up every single pop that they want to have in a collection for retail. And just the harsh truth and the reality of this hobby, and most collectible hobbies, or all collectible hobbies I should say, is some things are limited, and not everybody can get them. And as hard as a pill that is to swallow, maybe, it just is what it is. Some things you're gonna miss out on. And I think that the flip side of that, where people want everything to be easily accessible, is going to lead to that place where there is no value in it. They are sitting on shelves. Everybody who wants it is able to get it. Isn't not necessarily a good thing for any collectible hobby moving forward. You know, Funko definitely has to you know, monitor the production they have. They could either mass produce, which is going to leave it so that there's too much of it out there, nobody's gonna want it, it becomes something that nobody really wants. They could produce to demand, which I think they're trying to do a little bit more now, which is People think it's mass production. I think it's more production to demand. If they think that 1,000 people are going to want a certain pop, they try to make 1,000 of them. And that may be too much for the market because the market may only want 700 of them. So it feels like it's mass produced, but they're trying to, calibrate those scales and make it so that everything they make sells out and it's everyone that wants is able to get it. I think that's what they're trying to move towards more. And I still think that is a little bit closer to the mass production scale where, there is no secondary market for them, and that may be what some people want. I don't think is good, just personally. And then the third way they can do it is underproduce things where, there's 1,000 people that want a certain pop and only 500 are ever made, so half the people that want them are not able to get it. And that's what makes things valuable, because supply and demand is going to tip in a way where the demand is higher than supply and the price is going to go up. I think all collectibles deal with this. I don't think reselling is bad. I think it's something that needs to be here in order for the hobby to continue. A lot of people disagree with that, and I just think that they honestly and truly are just wrong. I think it's a lazy take. I just think it's a bad take. And if there were not resellers in this hobby, the hobby would die. Now, like I said before, I did a video talking about how to go about reselling, and I think that there are people who don't go about reselling in the right way. It makes for a bad taste in people's bad taste for people, and that's why people will have such a problem with flippers and resellers, is because of the way they go about doing it. And I, in that regard, do agree with people who are complaining about resellers, because if you are going to a store, you're lining up 8 o'clock in the morning, you took off from work or going to work late, and you're not able to get a pop, I do believe that leaves a bad taste in your mouth and makes you not want to do it ever again, and you kind of give up on the hobby. So I definitely get that, but at the same token, if something's limited, it's going to be like that. And good thing with Funko is they're $15 for like retail exclusives. Most things that are limited or valuable aren't going for like $15 and then being $100 instantly if you wait a little bit right after. Things tend to level off and become reasonable pretty quickly in the Funko collecting hobby. I've always preached on this channel patience. A lot of people want to be the first one to get a pop, and that's not really what serves you best in the Funko collecting hobby. Patience normally pays off because of the restocks and things of that nature. So in general, I just don't think reselling is as big as a deal as people make it out to seem. It may seem like that because there's bad experiences, due to lining up and things of that nature, or somebody, taking all of the stock at a certain store and then no one else is able to get it. I get that, but reselling needs to exist in a hobby in order for it to continue. Now that leads me to my next thing I want to talk about, and a lot of things I see people complain about, is WhatNot and the YouTubers association with it. So full disclosure, WhatNot has sponsored this channel numerous times. We do have a working relationship where I do get paid. If you guys use the link in the description box below, you get $15 off your first order via WhatNot. Definitely a great platform to buy Funko Pops off of, and it's one I use myself. In saying that, full disclosure again, I am not under contract, so I'm able to say whatever I want about WhatNot, and this is my honest opinion about the platform. I truly love it. I think the anger with WhatNot is misguided towards the platform, and maybe some of the anger may need to be guided or directed towards the people using the platform. So I myself don't participate in any live auctions. I have never bought anything via live auction, and I've never had a live auction. Mainly because I have not done it, to be honest with you guys, and I've told WhatNot as well. Is it kind of, first off, I don't have anything I want to sell. Every pop I have, for the most part, is something that I like and I bought to keep. So I don't have anything to sell to do an auction on. I told him, if I do an auction, which I do plan to do in the future for you guys, it's going to be a giveaway. It's not going to be trying to sell you guys anything. I don't feel right personally selling things to you guys, and setting a price. That's just not how I feel. Some people feel differently, and I don't have a problem with people doing that. It's just my personal, choice. But I think a lot of times people have an issue with YouTubers or anybody on WhatNot getting more money than the product is worth. So say a pop is worth $20, Funko app or eBay, whatever it may be, and they're selling it, or it goes in the auction for $40. And my opinion on that is different than most other people. I don't see anything wrong with that. If I have a product that is worth $20 and somebody is willing and able to pay $40 for it because it comes from either their favorite YouTuber or they don't feel like going through the trouble of looking for a better deal elsewhere, then what is the issue? The person that is selling it is able to get sell their product, which was their goal, and the person that wants to buy it is able to get it for the price that they were willing to pay. I don't see an issue with that at all. What I do see an issue with, and I do agree with people, is the intention. If people are just buying things because they know that that is what's going to happen, then I can definitely see where there's an issue, because people could be taking advantage of the system, or they know they can get a higher value on WhatNot. Now, intentions always comes down to reading people's mind. I don't know how you go about doing that, and I definitely see why people would have an issue with certain people that would do that. Again, I don't watch these platforms, so I don't know who's doing it, who's not, but I think that lands with the consumer to either support that individual or not. It has nothing to do with the platform. The platform is honestly based on speaking with them. They're trying to make a platform that is easy for the community to purchase Funko Pops and a safe place to do so. They're not trying to inflate the value of Funko Pops in any way. And again, that's my opinion. I'm not being paid to say that. That is genuinely how I think. I don't think that people should be angry at the platform. Maybe they can have to be angry at the auctioneer, I guess, in that instance, or the YouTuber, whatever it may be. But it comes down to intent. If the person genuinely is just selling the Pops in their collection and goes for more than they thought it would, I don't see a problem with that. Person's willing to pay for a product that they want. It's coming from their favorite YouTuber. Maybe they get it to sign it, or send a letter, whatever makes it special for them, or just in general, just having from the collection, being able to say, you know, I got this pop right here from PopSavage. Maybe that means something to them, and that's worth an extra $10, $15. It wouldn't be for me, but maybe it is for them. So I don't think it is right in saying that person is necessarily wrong. And I think if people are not doing the effort or doing the work as far as seeing that there is better deals out there, and you know, they shouldn't necessarily trust just because a certain YouTuber or WhatNot person has the pop that they're getting the best deal, then I think that's on them. You know, at a certain point, we have to be educated consumers. That's why I try to do these videos as often. I preach patience all the time, and I think sometimes people get caught up in the hype, but I don't think that that's necessarily on the auctioneer who's running that auction to have to cut that auction off when it hits the pop price guide price. That's just not what an auction is. You know, if somebody wanted to sell it for the exact pop price guide price, they should do a buy it now listing, which they do have on WhatNot as far as like their marketplace is concerned. So I'm conflicted with it. I want to know how you guys feel. Again, this is just my opinion. I don't see where the complaints come as much with that, just because I think there's a buyer and a seller, and as long as both people are happy, you know, then we move on from there. I don't see why other people get involved in other people's transactions. That's just my opinion, but let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel. Again, this is just my opinion. I'm not trying to give you guys a lecture as far as that this is the gospel and how things should be handled, but I kind of wanted to address it because I see so many comments of people not having, or having a problem with reselling in general, and you know, kind of this new renaissance of WhatNot and things going for more than they're worth. I know it may sound like victim blaming, but I think we really need to ask the question, are they really victims if they're getting what they want for the price they want to pay? So just my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below how you feel. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe if you're new. Check me out on my second channel at Savage Breaks, where I do Pokemon, sport cards, and comic books. And also my Instagram at ThePopSavage. You can stay connected there as well. Thanks again for watching, guys. Till next time, see you later.